How's it going, Scrub Gamers? Welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and today we're going with another one of my little series covering the alternate formats you can give a try out at your locals or with your friend group. And so far we've currently covered two, being Legacy and also Limited, which are quite fun formats. And this one's more of a interesting one and a better one for more newer players or players that don't have a huge budget. And this one is all about Pauper. So before we go over what Pauper is and basically explain a bit more about the format, feel free to like, comment and subscribe. It helps the channel up greatly. And if you want to get notifications to when my videos do drop after you subscribed, feel free to hit the notification button. It gives you alerts, and also any subscription like that or anything like that really helps with the channel, because we're trying to get to 1,000 subs, currently over halfway there, and we're looking to get that by the end of the year, and all this is appreciated and helps greatly with the channel. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video and have a look and explain what Pauper is. So Pauper is a common format in most card games where the legality is based on rarity. And if you can tell by the actual name of it, Pauper, it's based on allowing only the lowest rarity of cards in that particular game, which in our game is common. So like with most alternative formats, it does have a deck building limitation. Like I said, it's basically around rarity. And for Pauper format, the limitation is only cards that have been printed as common are legal in this format. So any card that, when you go into the little text box at the bottom of the corner, in the bottom right hand corner, it normally say you have the code of it to show what set it came out with, what number it is in that set, or with a promo to go P for promo and the number. And then normally next to it, it comes with a little icon or a little character to normally determine what rarity is. And if you want to know which one a card is common, it just have a C. You get UC for uncommon, R for rare, SR for super rare, SPR for special rare, SCR for secret rare, and then you have some other rares, like you have the Sun Gohan rare being SGR, the ISR, IAR. There's quite a few different promo rares as well. And you get the promo one as well, being a P before the number, to kind of guess, to have a look and see what rarity is. So in this format, any card that has the C, to basically indicate common, are legal for this one. And if you feel like just common is a bit too much, you don't have to stick to just common. You can go and up it to being common and uncommon as well, if you want to incorporate a few more cards, because sometimes there are some quite powerful cards in uncommon. So that depends, once again, like with any of these formats, it's down to your locals or play group how do you want to do it. And a great thing with this format is that the common only restriction doesn't diminish the power level of the format, because there are some very good common cards, very powerful common rares. Like I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think B might be a common as well. But Pauper is still has plenty of solid combos and a variety of playable decks and playstyles as well. So you don't have to, like, it's only nowadays in the current, like with this series now, like with Unison Warrior series and Senkai series, that we've had like heavy archetype based like decks, and we've basically been fed archetypes with each color, like 2 archetypes in each one, and decks are more heavily using their archetypes more for certain colors than others. But you can still get down to the classic deck building that we used to have back before we started getting proper series instead of having blocks, which is a lot of fun. Like before that, when we actually had to build our decks, there were some like stupidly powerful decks, but it was still fun to do deck building. Whereas now it's not as it's not as rewarding as it used to be, and it's a lot easier than it used to be. But then it does help out things like that. But this is still fun because there are some as I said, there are very powerful cards in common. You can come up with quite different, unique strategies. Look at like potentially playing decks that you would never play in like actual hardcore competitive. The competitive format, and it just opens your eyes to see different decks, different ways, and also can help with your once again deck building and strategy skills, which is really helpful. And if you're looking to improve in the game, those wee skills that are quite helpful, because one thing you can always do is just net deck a list, basically just getting the list of something that's done well online, building out and playing it. And while that's not a bad thing in net deck, everybody's got to start somewhere. Sometimes you get people who just net deck the deck, but they won't actually learn the ins and outs, and then won't do as well because they didn't understand it or don't like amend it to be more to their playstyle. Because everybody has like there's different playstyles, and everybody plays and learns differently, or like plays the game differently, or has a different strategy. And if you don't incorporate a list to yourself, then you're not gonna do as well with it. And that's where these alternative formats are quite good, where they help with your deck building skills, learning how like what works for you, what you like to incorporate, what kind of things you like to play in each of the different colors, and have a good way of playing that. And this certainly helps improve it, and it is fun as well. So like as I said at the beginning, it is a good one for new players, because when you get brand new in the game, you don't want to spend a load of money to fork out on a deck. Like, while it is a hobby and people do spend money on a hobby, some people like hobbies because they're not that not costly. And this is a great format for people who want to get into the game and start off somewhere and start quite cheaply, just to see how it is in game. And where you're just focusing on common, you're not spending too much on commons unless you want to actually bling them out, which as a new player you're not going to. And you can still, like, if you're like a magpie and like you're like high rarity, like your shiny cards, you can still get common cards in foil as well, so you can always go with that. So that is basically the format. It is a quite fun one. We have had it once at our locals, and it was quite well. It was a bit early when we had it. We had around set 3 when there wasn't much of a card pool, but it's still fun nonetheless. Even though the majority brought the same deck, like they were built differently, of course, but the same deck being the Android deck, and it is a really enjoyable format. And just to give an example, there are 5 different cards in the game now. So we have leaders, battle cards, extra cards, unisons, and Z cards. And yeah, these are some examples of it. Like, so the Goku leader here, that is an uncommon lead, so you would not be able to play that unless you amend the rules to include uncommon with common as well, because you can do that if you want to, but you don't really want to go higher than uncommon, because otherwise then it's not really Pauper, because it's going into the higher rarities that do when you're trying to pay like the basic lowest rarity. And uncommon is still is not too bad of a rarity, still quite a low rarity. And then you get like battle cards, where you can have secret rares, which is a big one, because secret rares are one of the most expensive cards in the game that aren't like that aren't just for collectors, like we see with some promo cards and everything. And then you can have SRs as well, you can have super rares, you can have rares, and also you certainly can have promos, because while some promos are fairly cheap, not all promos are fairly cheap. Some promos are very expensive, like hard to get ones, or expensive ones because of the meta and things like that. So yeah, you can include promo ones, even though they can be quite cheap. But that is just an example as well of it, of like some of the cards you won't be able to play, and hopefully this is one that you want to try out. So that is it. That is Pauper, a very fun, very interesting format, and feel free to give it a try. So once again, thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Feel free to try this format out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.